Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military with Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in the Gaza and Israeli on the 8th of October of 2023. Today we have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. If you take a look at this map, we're going to see a significant number of icons all over the territory of Israel, of Gaza, and so on, and all of them means something. If we try to describe, to understand what exactly is going on, if we want to describe the entire situation in Gaza area, we can use just one regular word, and we can call this situation balagan. Because both sides report a lot about some success, about advances, about achievements. The Palestinian forces reported that there are currently very fierce clashes in the cities by the name of Ashdod. There are very fierce clashes in the city by the name of Ashkelon. So basically, according to this information, we can add some arrows that as a result of clashes and offensive operation, the mobile groups of the Palestinian forces managed to enter and to get even Ashdod. Of course, some sources are saying that mainly the Palestinian forces were using something like marine operations, and they landed on the territory of these two cities to penetrate the defense belt of Israeli forces. But anyway, we understand that the Palestinian forces don't have possibilities to control the situation. The only thing they can do is to send mobile forces to make some panic and to force the Israeli forces to stretch them from one side to another. And this is exactly what the Palestinians currently try to do, to stretch the Israeli forces. Furthermore, the sources are saying about very fierce clashes on the border with Gaza in the cities like Sderot. Today they published the videos and photos of results of clashes for the police department. As you can see, the building was reduced to ruins. And probably as a result of that clashes, the Israeli forces managed to establish control over it and stabilize the situation. But later this evening we got more updates that currently there are still fierce clashes in this area. And the thing is that we suppose and we expect some clashes between one army and another army, as we used to see in the special military operation in Ukraine, when there is a strict front line, two armies on both sides from the combat line, and there are very fierce clashes and artilleries. But if we compare the situation in Gaza, it is a completely different situation, because the Israelis is the part who has army, and when talking about the Palestinians, they don't have army, they have significant number of mobile groups. And the main purpose of these mobile groups is not to fight against the Merkava tanks, against F-16, F-35s. The main purpose is to try to find a weak point in defense belt of Israelis and to attack only at the places where they know they can win. And this is the main difference. They are not attacking anytime they see the enemy. Let's say the Israelis. The Palestinians attack only then when they know for sure that they can win, that they can kill, that they can reduce the number of Israeli forces, at least for one soldier. Furthermore, the sources are saying about very fierce clashes in the city like Kfar Aza, but some sources are saying that this settlement was taken already. And a lot of mappers, a lot of people publish their own speculations, projections about the situation, the maps, the progress. Some sources are saying that the main purpose of Gaza forces of Palestinians to establish control, or to be more precise, to connect two sides of Palestine in this area. But I think that this is the wrong things. I'm not sure that the Palestinians have possibilities to do this. And probably the only thing they want to do one more time is to get as deep as possible, to stretch forces of Israeli forces, and first, the most important, to show the world, and not just the world, to show Egypt, to show Syria, to show Lebanon, to show Iran, to show every single country around Israelis that Israelis are weak. So this is the main purpose. We understand clearly that the Palestinian forces don't have possibilities to establish control over entire country, to liberate themselves, to force everybody, to force Israelis to discover them, and so something like this. Obviously, highly unlikely they're able to do this, but they're able to show the world, to show the neighbors that Israelis are weak country, and they're currently very weak, and this is the only time. So that's this a thing that can come once per 1,000 years, and this is the time, this is exactly the moment in the history when the time comes. And the first country, the first neighbor that took a decision to take a look closer at the situation is Lebanon, and to be more precise, the forces of Hezbollah. This is the forces, this is the power that controls the south of Lebanon. And today we got a lot of updates from the northern part of the Israel. And first of all is that Hezbollah officially reported that they took a decision to take part in this special military operation, the special war or holy war against the Israeli authorities. And the Hezbollah forces started bombing and shelling the positions of Israelis on the northern part of Israel, on the rocks mountain area. As a result of mortar strikes, few positions of Israeli forces were damaged or even destroyed. Furthermore, the Israelis published the video of air defense system, how according to this information, according to author of this video, the Israelis air defense system Patriot managed to discover some unknown object in the sky, and as a result of strike, that something in the sky was destroyed. So this is not very good thing. This is obviously not very good thing for the Israel, because we understand that now they are forced to be stretched not just on the south. Currently, the enemies of Israel try to stretch the Israeli forces from north to the bottom. And this situation clearly understand the sponsors and the main investors of Israel on the west when talking about the United States of America. For example, Antony Blinken has already reported that US warns Hezbollah and Lebanon against trying to intervene in Gaza conflict. This was the words from Blinken. Furthermore, today Israel asked for another military help and aid from the United States of America, and probably very soon they're going to receive another $8 billion. So this is the situation. Furthermore, the sources are saying that there are clashes and some activity in the western bank of Jordan. And according to the author of this video, this is something of a result of clashes in Jenin, the city that located on the western bank, and probably there are a lot of people who support Gaza, who support the Palestinians, and obviously, and the sources are saying that this evening people will try to make some strikes and will intensify their actions exactly on this side, and this is another front line, another attempt to stretch the forces of Israel in this area. When talking about the Israelis, of course, they also try to do something. They try to stabilize the situation, but the sources are saying that by the 6 p.m. of the local time, the losses of Israel were around more than 600 people. And it's like just killed people and obviously significant number of wounded people. Furthermore, for the first time since the 1973, the Israeli authorities took a decision to declare war, and this is a very specific declaration of war, because the Israel declared war just to nobody, just like declare war as a state of the country, of this small country in the Middle East. Currently, it's very difficult to understand who exactly the Israel declared war to, but anyway, this is the situation. Mainly, this is the media situation, media things to show the people, civilians, that the Israeli authorities try to calm down and to stabilize the situation. During the entire day, we got significant number of videos of redeployment of armored vehicles from one part of the country to another. Currently, the Israelis tried to concentrate forces before the first phase or the second phase of counter-offensive operation to stabilize the situation. Currently, when talking about the cities around Gaza, there are clashes between the local police detachments and the Palestinian forces. And we understand that this is not enough to stabilize area. The main forces along Gaza expect the arrival of heavy artillery, heavy tanks, and probably maybe in an hour they're going to begin the ground operation, and the Israelis will try to stabilize the situation. But when talking, if you ask my opinion, I see like a lot of mistakes from the Israeli side. First of all, we see significant number of concentration of forces, and most of them, for example, Russian and Ukrainian military experts have already made their own conclusions that if the situation took place somewhere in Ukraine and Russia, all these convoys would be already destroyed. So it's very difficult to understand what is going to be next, but probably the Palestinians wait when the Ukrainians will get closer, and then they will start attacking the Israelis positions with significant number of drones. Because today, for example, the Palestinians also published another video for media effect to show that something like Lancet, Russian Lancet, but the Palestinian Lancet, let's call it like this, the the drone that they can use, the Palestinians, to attack the armored vehicles and tanks of the Israeli forces. Obviously, this is something propaganda. We understand this, but obviously, from one side, this propaganda, but from the other side, we understand that the Palestinians do have this type of weapon, and we'll see what is going to be next. The only thing I know for sure that as a result of the clashes on the 7th of October, the Palestinians managed to destroy a significant number of Israeli Merkava tanks with just regular FPV drones. When talking about the southern area, there are also very fierce clashes, and the sources are saying about the progress, about the further progress of mobile groups in between Gaza and the southern part of Israel. Obviously, they are not able to control the cities. They only can do is to stretch the Israelis. The Israelis are trying to concentrate their forces also on the south. We have a lot of videos with Western weapons, with M113 armored vehicles, with self-proffered howitzers, with tanks. They still continue concentration before the next or the first counterattack attempt. Meanwhile, the Israeli Air Forces, to be more precise, F-16, F-15, F-35, continue clashes, continue bombing and attacking the Gaza with all types of weapons they have, without counting the Gaza civilians' losses and so on. As a result of those strikes, the Israeli Air Forces have already destroyed significant number of buildings, significant number of places and so on. The sources are saying that just as a result of bombings, up to 400 people were killed during the first day of bombings. A few thousands of people were wounded. Furthermore, the sources are saying that as a result of another air bomb, the Israelis managed to kill the head of Hamas, but not of the military wing. And this is very important. So this is the episode of another bombing, according to information we have, that took place these days. And as a result of those strikes, a lot of buildings were ruined, fell down, and so on. So the situation obviously is going to escalate, and probably now the third part side has already involved into the conflict. We're talking about Hezbollah, and of course we understand that sooner or later, if these two groups like Hezbollah and Hamas are able to achieve some success, to achieve some results, obviously Benjamin Netanyahu will be forced to ask more help from the United States of America, and obviously either Syria and Iran also can start some kind of support, open support to these two groups, also with sending some even infantry and forces to the Middle East, to Israel. Obviously, the situation is very bad, but so we'll see what is going to be next. And that's it for this video. Military Summer channel reminds to condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.